In Provo, Alex, thank you.
News Specialist Brian Carlson continuing our team coverage tonight on the charges filed against Tyler Robinson. He sat down with legal analyst Greg Skordas about today's developments. Now, important to note here, Skordas, who is a talk show host for KSL News Radio, also works pro bono for Utah County, helping them find an attorney to represent Robinson, but he is not directly involved in prosecuting or defending the accused killer.
I've not seen a prosecutor lay out all the evidence in that kind of big forum in such detail. How unusual was that?
Really, you nailed it. It's really unusual because really, to charge a case, you just need to establish what's called probable cause. In other words, on this date, time, and place, these events occurred, and this is how we're going to prove it. You don't need to talk about the background and the discussions with his mom and the discussions with his dad and his grandpa's gun and his roommate and that type of thing. I mean, it's all evidence that will come out in front of the jury, so it's not necessarily, improper, but it was, in some respects, unnecessary. I mean, this is a serious case, and I think that the prosecution had to let the public know, and maybe even administration know, that he's taking this very seriously.
So what does that do to the case, giving all those details?
Well, so what you have to think about is this, that in a year or two or three or whenever, he's got to seat a jury. He's got to have 12 people sit there in Utah County and ask them if they have formed any opinion about the case. And if they watch this press conference, it would be hard to say no. So that's why you don't want to spill too much of your case out, because you want your jury to go into the trial and say, I don't know a lot about this case, and I'm willing to keep an open mind, and I'll be fair, and he'll get a fair trial. I'm just saying that anybody that watched that press conference today would be reluctant to sit in a trial on this case.
Based off all the information that was released.
Right, exactly.
Now, I know that we'll have more of a conversation with this on KSL Radio on your show.
Right.
Anything that you want to get into that you feel like is something that people at home need to know that we don't have time here?
Well, this has gone on a fairly fast track. I think the county attorney did a good job of making sure that we weren't left hanging. The homicide occurred Wednesday. He turned himself in Friday. Here we are Tuesday, and charges are filed. So they've worked very hard, and they've done a good job and put together a very solid case, I would say.
All right, that was Brian Carlson and Greg Skordas. Thanks, Brian, for that. In Logan, Utah State.
Thanks for breaking that down, Alex. KSL legal analyst says that it is unusual for the prosecutor to actually lay out all this evidence in such great detail. Greg Skordas, who is also a talk show host for KSL News Radio, speaking to our team today after the media conference. It is important to note here, he also works pro bono for Utah County, helping them find an attorney to represent Robinson, but he is not directly involved in prosecuting or defending the accused killer. Skordas saying that the amount of details is not necessarily wrong, but it could make finding a jury pool even harder.
He's got to have 12 people sit there in Utah County and ask them if they have formed any opinion about the case. And if they watch this press conference, it would be hard to say no. You want your jury to go into the trial and say, I don't know a lot about this case, and I'm willing to keep an open mind, and I'll be fair. And
Skordas also says the county attorney did a good job of making sure everything moved quickly as far as charges being filed. Coming up at 6:30, we are breaking